Tallinn, Riga and Vilnius. 3 capitals, same corner of Europe. How different could they be? Let's find out. There are a few things that shape how you experience the city, like walkability, how it feels to move through the streets, street life, the rhythm of everyday life, and places to pause where the city lets you breathe for a while. Those things together, that's the Travel Without Chaos Index, 3 dimensions, each one scored out of 5. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how Tallinn, Riga and Vilnius score. On the map it looks simple, 3 capitals more or less in a line, Tallinn up on the Baltic coast, Riga in the middle on its river and Vilnius further south inland. The distances are short enough that it feels natural to plan them as one journey, one bus south, then another, a few hours from one city to the next. But a map only tells you how far apart places are, it doesn't tell you how they feel. And that part only really begins once you stop looking at the map and start walking. Tallinn is a city you can walk without much of a plan. The old town is small, the streets are short and they bend, so you set off one way and the city keeps handling you somewhere you didn't mean to go. A square, a stair, and before long you're higher than you started. And that's the thing about Tallinn, it keeps unfolding as you go, layer under layer. Down below it's tight and medieval, cobbles, gates, gabled houses. Climb a little and the upper town opens out with the sea somewhere beyond the spires. Old and new sit close together too. You pass through a medieval gate and a few minutes later you're among glass and concrete and then back again. And when the lower town starts to feel tight, you can simply walk up. The upper town gives you air and open sky with the lower town spread out beneath you. And people lean on the wall, take in the view and stay a little longer than they meant to. It slows you down without trying. Back down in the streets, most visitors keep to a few main lanes, the souvenir windows and the queue for the photo. If you step one block off, it goes quiet almost at once. The everyday life doesn't spread along every street here, it gathers in spots through the old town and around the center. So that's Tallinn, the hill and the harbour, old and new, all within a morning's walk. But I suggest you give it a few more hours. It's certainly worth it. We'll take a look at the scores later. Now it's time to get on the bus to the next city. Tallinn thins out at the edges, the suburbs, a retail park and the last of the tram lines, and then it's just road. Forest, fields and forest again. 4.5 hours of it. And when you look up again, the hill is gone. And what's waiting for you is wider and lower and built around a river you can feel before you can see it. It's Riga. Riga keeps its life in big rooms. Wherever the city opens out, a market, a park, a boulevard, that's where you find it. And the biggest of those rooms is the market down by the river, old hangars that were built for airships, and the scale of it takes a second to land. Smoked fish, black bread and berries by the bucket. Then there are the parks, long green strips running right through the center with a canal and benches, and people lying on the grass. Plenty of room to sit down and let the city go by for a while. The boulevards are wide and generous, lined with tall buildings you keep looking up at. Easy walking, though the wide streets cut the center into blocks, so every so often you stop and wait for the traffic before you carry on. It breaks the rhythm for a moment. Step off the big streets though and the old town takes over. Narrow lanes with cafe tables along them and plenty of corners visitors come looking for. Riga is grand and open, built around its river and big in a way you can feel as you walk. The scores come later, now it's time to get on the bus again, to the next city. South again, another few hours, forest, fields, the odd small town, a petrol station and then forest again. Somewhere along the way you cross into Lithuania and suddenly you arrive in Vilnius. Vilnius is instantly relaxed. There's almost something Southern European about it. All through the city, people seem to seek out the streets just to be part of them, not only to go from one place to another. Cafe tables doing steady business, benches taking, a low hum of the everyday wherever you walk. The old town is easy to be in and it doesn't feel made for visitors only. Locals and visitors share the same streets with plenty of places to pause. A garden, a courtyard you can see straight into from the street, a bench under a tree. The square in front of the cathedral is wide and open and people gather there with nowhere in particular to be, just sitting on the steps, meeting a friend and watching the day go by. The streets are about the right width, the traffic stays back and trees line the avenues. The city gets room to breathe. Vilnius doesn't push back at you much, it's a soft, unhurried place that just lets you keep walking. So, Tallinn, Riga and Vilnius walked. Time to lay them side by side. Three capitals, only a few hours apart, how different can they be? Well, let's take a look at them, one dimension at a time. We start with walkability, how easy each city is to move through on foot. All three score high, Tallinn and Vilnius at the top of the scale, Riga a point below. These cities are really easy to walk. And street life, this is where the everyday gathers, the markets, the cafe tables, the places people actually use. Riga and Vilnius sit a little higher here. In Tallinn it's more concentrated, gathered into a few busy rooms rather than spread along every street. And finally places to pause, room to stop and breathe for a while. All three do well, Vilnius especially, small gardens and corners everywhere that quietly invite you to slow down. Add it all up and the totals land close together. On paper, there's barely any distance between them, but walking them tells a different story, because each one moves to its own rhythm. Tallinn is layered, old and new stacked around the hill. Riga is grand, the river, the boulevards, the market halls, the scale of it. And Vilnius is effortless, the kind of place that just lets you keep walking. Same region, same road south and three capitals you could mix up on paper, but three completely different cities to walk. And if you're anything like me, that's exactly why you go. Not to tick 3 capitals off a list, but to feel how differently 3 places can move, even when everything on paper says they shouldn't. Have you been? Or do you live there? I'd love to hear.